This is the Ink Pray Love podcast. We talk all things health, wealth, and community connection. Let's go. Today on the Ink Pray Love podcast, we have an extremely special guest, someone dear to my heart, someone I've studied under my guru, Dr.Omanand GuruJi. He is in India, coming from his ashram, which I stayed at, and we are getting a direct communication with my guru. Thank you for coming here. I really appreciate you being on the podcast today. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
How are you today?
Everything fine, very good, very nice.
And how's the ashram running since I've left? Yeah, it's about 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's going well. It's progressing. Now, recently, we are coming up with a 251 bed capacity yoga therapy hospital in Ujjain, which you know about 50 kilometers from here. And this capacity will be one of the third largest in the world.
Wow. You're building that?
Yes, it's all going on.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that the ashram grew. So little backstory for everyone listening. I met GuruJi at a Vajrayana Buddhism conference in Bhutan, Himalayan mountains, little Buddhist town. I showed up there. I had diamond earrings and a Louis Vuitton shirt. I was fresh from city life. I'm surrounded by monks. Everyone's in their Buddhist robes. And then I see across this crowd. And first I'm wondering, why am I here? Why am I, this guy, fully tattooed here? And then I look across the crowd and I see this beautiful, glowing man with these big Rudraksha beads and long, white, flowing hair. And I was like, whoa, who is that? And you looked right back at me right when I thought that too. And you looked at me at this little recognition and I was like, I have to talk to that guy. It hit me so strong. I just need to speak to you. And when we got to connect, I had this feeling of just bliss. I felt relaxed for a moment and it just felt like you understood all my suffering. You just got me. And we got to connect. I interviewed you for a documentary we're making. And you invited me back to your ashram, and I'll never forget that. I've told this on so many podcasts. It's like, if a guru invites you to his ashram, you go to his ashram. You just go. And I was like, I didn't even know where indoor was. And then I found out there's 11 million people in this city. I had no idea. And when I first got to see you at this space, it was an incredible transition time for me. It was really powerful, GuruJi. I was going through a massive change in my life, and this ashram was really powerful for me to have that shift. But the most important message, the most important time, and I don't know if you know this, so I'm excited to tell you, was when the ashram was running out of vegetables. It was a holiday, and you talked to the group of students. There was probably 30, 40 of us there. And you go, we need to buy vegetables. Who will come with me? And I shot my hand up. I was like, me for sure. I would have pushed people out of the way to go with you to go on a car ride with you. So we get outside, you pick me, and I was like, yes, so happy. We go outside and you're like, yeah, we'll drive. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, wait, GuruJi has a car? I didn't put that connection into my head. I was like, oh yeah, you drive? Of course. Was I expecting carpet? I don't know. And we get to that market, and it was so busy. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of people going on here. People, bargaining. There's cows, there's dogs, there's ducks, there's just everything. And the way that you carried yourself, it never left me, because the peace that you had, the love that you had, the way you bargained was with love. You bought oranges with love. And me to see that, I was like, that's practice, that's spiritual practice, that's God coming through, and the love that you have to even buy apples with. I was like, that's it. That's the point of spirituality for me. I really, it struck my heart and it never left. That was so powerful. You buying vegetables, that moment. Did you know that?
I remember.
I want to ask, what did it take to get to that space of being that loving, that kind, in the simplicity of everyday tasks? How did you become the man that you are today?
See, I did nothing. It happened.
Classic guru answer. When did you start practicing? And for everyone that doesn't know you, what is your practice? How did you become a doctor in yogic sciences?
The journey started right from the childhood. I was so fortunate to born in a family which was having a lot of spirituality. My grandmother, she lived 105 years,
Wow.
and she was too much towards the spirituality, and my father, my mother, all were too much into this yoga, spirituality, Vedanta. And the atmosphere in the house was so good and favorable to your, maybe the flow which was coming from ages, I don't know. Then right from the childhood, it was like going to practice yoga, probably 3 years, 4 years of age, just across the street from our house. There was one vyayam shala, the place where children will come after their school, will play, will have the yoga, will have all different kind of exercises, many gymnastics and traditional Indian exercises. So practically I started my yoga learning there, and it was too good that almost my after school most of the time was in the yoga shala. And during the young age, probably 8 years or 9 years, we had some twice, once in a year for 2 months, we all students used to dedicate something to our guru. So Guru will not expect any money from the children, but what Guru will say that for your wellness, for your fitness, for your awakening, what yoga asana, like you are doing push-ups, up sit-ups, or Surya Namaskar. So how many for 2 months you take a resolution, that much you are offering to the Guru. It's a way that it is going to keep you fit, more flexible. So we used to have those kind of resolution that okay, every day we will do 400 sun salutation, 300 push-ups, like those kind of things I used to do in the childhood. And then simultaneously in Ujjain, the holy river Kshipra, where I used to go with my one of the friend, I learned swimming and then meditating and for hours, sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours in the water. And then we had very powerful temples nearby our home. One of the most famous, world famous Jyotirling, Mahankaleshwar in Ujjain, where I used to go and sit for hours meditating inside the temple place. And nowadays there is a lot of crowd. You are not even allowed to go inside that place.
Mm.
Uh, we call it Garbhagraha, the central place near the deity. And similarly, there were more meditation places in Ujjain, some caves, meditation caves, thousands of years old caves. There I used to go. And then some places of Shakti Peeth, where the more energy flows. They are still the powerful centers. So
Mm.
my then childhood used to be in those areas most of the time, walking around, seeing around, and practicing. Instead of playing with the children, I used to go to these places where more practice of yoga, meditation, and these things could really grow. I don't know, but it was happening. Then later on, I came with the contact with Swami Paramanand Giriji, where I was initiated, and then he also gave lot of guidance and help. And then we have a regularly our own self practice, early morning getting up and having our own way of practicing regularly and daily. That's why I always say to my students, you should always practice regularly, daily, your yoga and meditation so that you are keeping your life in a perfect and balanced order. So
Wow.
this was the growing things from the childhood, and then later on, almost about 50 years of my age, I came in contact with one of the head of the department here in Indore Engineering College, Professor M. Kapoor. So he got very deep experiences during my meditation sessions when I was guiding. So he insisted me, Guruji, you should do PhD in meditation and all. I said, no, I don't want PhD now. It's okay. Already things are over. I don't want to go into it. No, but he kept on insisting me. I did my master's degree, then MPhil, philosophy in masters and all that. But he kept on insisting, and I don't know, it happened then. At the age of 52, my PhD was done on Patanjali Yoga Sutra, one sutra, Yoga's Chitta Vritti Nirodha, means going beyond the coloring of mind, and how this can be useful for yoga therapy or wellness and fitness of mankind. So this was the topic, very interesting, very close to my heart, which I am feeling. Because of that could be the seed, and it's growing. Now today we are coming up with the third largest yoga therapy hospital in the world. So this is the journey it is going on.
I love it. Thank you so much for explaining that. I have a few questions around that, but I had memories also when you said Shakti, and I remember you saying big Shakti, and like big energy. And I remember that. And I remember you saying to me, let it happen, let it happen. Like that was like, you would repeat this when we were doing a process. So we'd be doing a big, you know, pranayama or shaking meditation, or we'd be doing these yogic pranayam and these different type of practices that would blow my mind. And then you'd be like, let it happen, let it happen. And now you're saying going beyond the coloring of the mind. What do you mean by that? And what was I going through? For everyone, you know, that hasn't been to an ashram and studied under guru, what what do you put people through, and how does that expand their mind?
See, our hands have a limitation to grasp something. Body has some limitation to walk. Similarly, mind also has some limitation. Mind is not unlimited, but it appears to be that it has unlimited powers. No, it is limited, but through which your hands are moving, legs are moving, eyes are moving, mind is moving, that is called Shakti. That is the boss of your all these senses, body, and the mind. So, when you are going on the higher level beyond your mind, you understand how the mind is playing its games. So, when you master your mind, you are really going into the higher level. But when mind masters, mind is your master, problem starts that lead you towards the destruction, that leads to your imbalance, negativity. So one has to understand, when I say let it happen means now don't talk to your mind. Mind cannot be your guru. Each time when your mind is your guru, problem is bound to happen, because psychoanalysts are very clear about that. 95% of the thoughts coming in our mind are either negative or repetitive or useless or garbage or trash. So if you follow that trash, definitely life is going to suffer. But you must learn how to master the mind, and that is the way meditation is very powerful. And when you're going in meditation through pranayama, many times this shakti start rises up within your body and system, and that shakti which is in your body system is kundalini shakti. Awakening of kundalini shakti is in like a rising up of sometime like a snake, or just vibrations and those kind of things start coming in the body. So there are many techniques when the shakti and the chakras start opening, and one should learn from the guru or the master or the person who knows it properly, what to do with this shakti, what to do with this power. And if you know how to utilize this power, life enters in the zone of joy and the bliss.
Wow. Wow. There's, it feels like being in the city, and a lot of people listening will be in the city, that this zone of joy and bliss seems unattainable. They're like, how do we do this? What would you recommend for people, other than, of course, they need to come practice yoga? But if they don't, or aren't able to come to India to do it right now, how do people find more joy in their lives today?
This is a real challenge all over the world. People do not take it very seriously or sincerely. Reason being, this is the gray area which cannot be shown physically. This is not on the matter level. Okay, if you are going and buying something from supermarket, you know I am paying $1 and buying a good worth $1. But if somebody is saying, okay, I'm going to give you the bliss, I'm going to show you the path of the bliss, so it looks like that. It is something people do not first of all understand how they will get it, because it need a proper systematic understanding first. Doing bits and pieces is not going to give you a right building. There must be a proper foundation, and then keep on moving forward. So it needs a proper guidance. Now we have here Kabir Anand from England, and others are helping us to bring something online. We can have the small some programs which can be very good for people who are interested to get rid of their tension, stress, and all the mess going on, trauma things in their lives, so that every day, if they only spare 15 minutes a day, they will start going and gaining into more higher level of their own energies, balancing their minds, so that they can cultivate better life and peaceful and joyful manner of their own way.
I love it. Yeah, we'll definitely put those in the show notes for people to be able to come and practice abroad. I'd like to circle back to when we were in that really busy, crazy market. And it seemed like from now, after studying, it seems like your emotional regulation and your nervous system is just dialed. Like, just you were so calm. And is there any tips that you'd give to people practically on calming their nervous system in a space right away if they're feeling triggered, if they're feeling stressed out, if they, what would you recommend in that space?
So one of the technique I would like to share with one of the technique I would like to share, that let people go into bringing their first index finger and thumb together like this, keeping their hands, keeping their palms upward on their knees, whether they are sitting on the chair or in the chair or on the floor. This should be the position of their hands like this, and then relax their shoulders. One technique is simply you inhale with sound, look at me, and now very slowly, slowly, slowly exhale. Like eyes are closed, and inhale, for example, is taking 1 second. Let exhale take 10 seconds. Relaxing the brain and exhale. You try it for a moment just now. See yourself how it works. Inhale powerfully and hold the breath for a moment, and very slowly, slowly exhale. And when you exhale, exhale the burdens from your brain, from your head. Exhale toxins, hurting things from your heart. Again, do it 5 times at least. Each time, inhale with full force, and while exhaling, just let go. Let go is opposite to ego. Another 3 more rounds, continue. And then you will tell your experience to the audience also, how it works. Go deep into that system. Go more slow in exhale. Cool, calm, quiet. One more deep round, deepest round possible, and go very, very relaxing way. And then gently rub your palms and gently massage your face.
I remember this.
Do you remember this power?
I remember this.
So,
So
so give
good.
this power to all your friends, and
I
let them
will.
enjoy it.
I can't wait for
Very
them to
good.
try it. I hope they're everyone listening was definitely doing that while we were. How could you not? It is it's amazing because right away I feel joyful. I'm right away happier, calmer, and it's amazing to see what intention into calming yourself, but also the guidance from you always just makes me like a child again. I love it. It's really sweet.
Very good.
I love that so much. um yeah, upon leaving your ashram, it was very powerful for me because I got very deeply connected to karma yoga. Around then was really seva was a big part that I knew I needed to live with. um how does that filter into your life, and why is it important in seva for everyone to make room for in their life?
When Roosevelt, the richest man in America, who got so many stuff all over world going on, he was about to die. Doctor said one more year maximum. At the age of 52, it was declared. So this was a big problem for this man who created so much wealth, become the richest man on the earth. So at that time, it is said that he met Swami Vivekananda. What Swamiji told him, that whatever you have accumulated, what is going to happen after your death? It is a crime that you are accumulating the wealth and you are going to give it up as it is. Better you start giving for the wellness of society. And he just, it is said that he just picked up this powerful suggestion from Swamiji. He started establishing the charitable things, and insulin was discovered with his charitable organization, and so many things happened. And Carnegie, D. Carnegie, what's that big man? He lived 93 years after he started giving what he received. So, seva is something which increases our inner system. It
Hmm.
increases our, practically, if you are giving something to somebody, your happy hormones increases, your balance of life increases, you cultivate more harmony in your life. But before you give something, you must have something with you. And what giving is important, not all the time with money, because everybody is having not money, but everybody has got the shakti, energy, power, wisdom, intellect, something to do. But on an average, every person has some expectation while doing something. But sometime when you are doing something without expectation, without attachment, without complaint, then that is called seva. Selfless seva means I am not doing for me, but let it happen for others, and let this body be an instrument to serve others. So there are two types of people on the earth. One type of people, I, me, myself. I live for myself. My life is for me and myself. This is the first type. Second is I, me, ourselves. So they are living for others also. अपनों के लिए, apne and apno, that's the two words there. So those people who are living for others, they are living more joyful and balanced life. It has been analyzed. Many people are highly self-centered, selfish, and they are not interested in others life at all. So you will find that their life is like a contracted life and a shrinking life they live, like a miser kind of things. They cannot even smile, those kind of people. So better to have a seva, karma yoga, and that will give you more happiness in your life. It is
Hmm.
part of as a, we say karma yoga. It is one of the paths defined in yogic science, and through this karma yoga, one can attain the liberation. Because when you are not doing work for yourself, so you are not attached to it. When you are not attached to any karma, so you will attain the liberation. You are
Hmm.
free from the vicious cycle of birth and death.
Wow. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful explanation. I absolutely love that. You touched on there the ego. I'd love to know your take on how does one have a healthy relationship to their ego?
See, there are two types of ego. One is tamas, tamasic ego, what we call is the dark ego. This dark ego is not ready to listen to anybody. It is only for ego has its own nature to expect from others, always demanding. And ego is identification of object by the observer. Observer identify itself with the object is called ego. Example, if you got a money $1 million with you, you call million millionaire. Yourself you call millionaire. So $1 million doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know even it is money. But millionaire, you are identifying yourself with the object. That is called ego. So this false ego is a troublemaker.
Mm.
You need a certain percentage of good ego to serve yourself, and then there is a ultimate ego, that is the true self. When you realize your true self, that is called the ultimate realization. That is the purest form of ego. So
What is the
false
truth
ego
though?
is the root cause of sorrow, one of
Mm.
the major root cause of sorrow, false ego.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
to remove it, of course, meditation, yoga is the best way and it is recommended.
Of course, absolutely. When you said the true ego, that struck my interest. How do we find our true self?
There is a systematic way of pursuing the yoga path. There are methods, techniques described in this path, and one need to seek those systematic way, and one can attain that. Like say Patanjali Yoga Sutra, very special, powerful book is talking about that. It has given the 8 limbs of the path of yoga, and once you follow, you can attain that. And
Mm.
highly recommended that you learn it from a some master, some guru who knows the subject and who can guide you easily.
Mm.
Because books or the information is good, but it will not be ultimately taking us to that realization. You need a certain little more guidance. It helps a lot.
I know. I know from that experience. Training with you in that short period of time was massive. Very big shakti, as you would say. Botacha, as you would say. Those are very fun times. When you said about money too, that interests me because I often think about, how spiritual people think about money and the energy of money. And, in the West, we're all worrying about money. Yeah, what's your take on that?
See, money is a mean, but not the goal.
Mhm.
It helps us to achieve, to live the life, but this is not goal. Money is needed. It is the necessity. But how much? That is the question. Now you are making money for enjoying, but by the time you are ready to get more money, you are old. You are unable to enjoy. You are running for making money to have the peace, but peace disappear by the time you have the money. You kept on trying to make money for enjoying, so enjoyment is practically swallowed by the greed and the money. You have no time to rest and enjoy and look into within yourself, because money is again object outside. So there is no time to go inside, because always person is busy in the materialistic world. So spiritualistic world means going within, finding your own energy, finding your own power. And now science is also coming more closer to finding your own self. They are talking about the metaphysics, quantum physics, and all that. So money is just physical aspect, one of the aspect of outer life. It's not ultimate. Otherwise,
Mm.
all moneyed people would have been the enlightened one. It's not.
I've heard someone tell me that money was an entity itself because it's taken on a spirit because it has so much intention into it that money has energy. Would you disagree?
No, money has energy, no doubt about that. Money moves people because it is something outside visible. Like a car is moving some people. We sit in the car, we sit in the plane, it is moving. So it is also energy. It is a way of, because see, you cannot carry everything in like a, when you give up the money, everyone gives up the money. When something more important than money is required. When you need the bread, when you want to buy the bread, you are hungry, you give the money. So money is the media. You can't eat money.
True, 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 true. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's something I feel like we stress about quite a bit. And from what I gather is if we can feel more joyful and content with our lives, money will come, or as long as we're doing something worth it, we can make that the money. It, it's a big deal out here in the West, especially now coming from Bali back to Vancouver. It's a big deal. It's a
Correct,
lot.
correct.
Yeah,
Now,
and
see,
I've noticed.
making money is an art,
Mm,
but one should not get lost just in making money. Yoga is not against making money, not at all, because the four principles of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha in Sanskrit, that means let your life be with a proper dharma. Dharma means the law of nature. Artha means the money, the wealth. Kama means the desires. And moksha means the liberation. So they have accepted the part of this wealth also. It is not regretted or it is not something bad, but it's an art. But you should not get lost while running for the money. Perform
beautiful.
your karma, perform your duties, and let the results come.
Is it possible to clear past karma by doing good deeds now? Can you
Yes,
clear the past? Yep.
that's right, possible.
Hmm.
Perform the good karma to cultivate the old one.
Yeah.
Let them all be wiped out with your good karma. Then enter into karma yoga
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
attachment, performing. So you are not creating new karma.
I did. I did something bad last week. I lost I lost my temper. It wasn't good. There's many drug addicts in Vancouver, and one was
Oh,
steal.
okay.
Yeah, many. One was stealing from, and I live in a nicer area, but one was at the pharmacy and was stealing, and the security guard caught him, and he was making a big commotion. He said he got assaulted, and it was the end of my day. I lost my temper, and I just turned and I swore at him, and I told him, you need to get out of here. Definitely swore at him. And I didn't like that he was making trouble. I didn't like that he was making a fuss. The manager was a little woman, and the security guard, he was making a big deal, and he was acting very not good actions. And so I lost my temper, and I just yelled at him, and I felt so angry for like 30 minutes after. I was just like, oh, and then I felt bad because what he said to me. I told him he was a drug addict, so like in a not nice way, and he said, "You know what I think of you? You're a rich kid, like a trust fund kid. Like I have rich parents, which couldn't be further from the truth." Okay, I knew that was about his parents, really a reflection. But then why did I lose my temper so quickly? I should have been compassionate. I should have I should have channeled my inner Guruji and calmed the situation down. You know, I needed that breath. I should have taken the breath before we started that.
Correct, correct, correct.
And so I thought afterwards, like, that's not cool. That's not how I want to operate. It felt very bad actually. And so I asked a mentor I have here for Seva. I said I don't just want to complain about an issue. I can only complain if I'm doing something. If I have some action, and it's a big problem here. What can I do? And he said, work with the children that later become drug addicts. Work with the kids and help.
Correct.
And so I thought something like that. But what I needed was to have deeper compassion. And I think where I got upset was I work very hard. I have many jobs. I don't work one job. These people just do drugs all day. And I got really angry, like, get a job. I got very angry.
Right, right, right.
What would you say to that, even just for me personally? But I bet you there's a lot of people listening to it, and a big amount of people in Vancouver that are dealing with, there's many drug addicts. How do we feel compassion and do something positive about the
See
issue?
about the addiction. Addiction, we have certain yoga therapy.
Mhm.
It helps a lot to bring them back. One we have Jason in UK. He has really done very good. He came here a couple of years back, Then he set up one hospital for de-addiction through yoga therapy there
Mm.
in association with our setup. And he is getting very good results. He is still doing one 2 years yoga therapy diploma with us, and he is about to come this year in ashram again. So he went to many of the setups all over the world for addiction treatments and this and that. He himself was victim, so he knew how he came out and how he can help. So this was really very interesting, because what yoga is saying, for 21 days, if you are really there, not without these drugs and all that, brighter chances, 90%, 90% or more chances that you will not go back to that problem. So you need a cycle to bring out of that vicious cycle which was already there. Break that cycle, come out and observe it. Because anger is energy. So that energy can convert into compassion and kindness and guidance. So do that and help them. And whenever it is required, we can definitely give you more detail about that package later on, how you can help them, because you are already a good yoga professional, and how you can help them. Right?
I,
Maybe in the month of May and June, I am in US. I don't know if that will be good for a day or two. We can come down to your place and see
I would
if you
love
have
that.
some people to talk.
I would love that. I would love that. I will set it up for you for sure. I would love that. Yeah, we should do that. So the compassion part, I want to get into yogic therapy later because I think a lot of people will be very interested in yogic
Yes.
therapy. That's a beautiful subject. I love it so much. The compassion space, because I noticed coming back to Vancouver, there's triggers like, okay, dealing with my family again. Okay, I need to be spiritual around your family because it's very hard. That's the hard
Yes,
part.
yes, yes.
Very triggering. So compassion, and how would you? And I think a lot of my listeners will talk about, okay, that's the hard part, family. That's triggering. What would you say to bring more compassion into our lives when it's coming into the close relationships around us?
See, compassion is the true nature of ourself. Very close to compassion, it comes from within. When you are under a pressure of anger, frustration, these are influenced from outside. Mind is influenced when it is seeing so many things. But compassion is like a fragrance flowing from a flower. It's nature. So our nature is diminishing by way of the false things coming in our system. Those clouds or the virus which comes in, they unnecessary are created, and then tension, stress, anxiety, fear, those kind of things start rising up. So compassion is on the backyard. So, whereas whenever you are just present every day, just doing 10-15 minutes of meditation, you will start going more closer to your own fragrance, and you will start spreading this fragrance full of love and compassion.
I love that. Our true nature is compassion. All the other things that are false that we see in the world are blocking that true nature. If we can take those away, we get back to our true nature of compassion. So,
Correct. Very
in
true.
what you're saying, all of us are inherently good people. We just need to tune
Very
out
true.
the stuff
Yes.
and actually get back to the good inside of us.
Very good.
It's very beautiful. How does yogic science and yogic therapy and yogic science, how does that help heal people that you've seen? What would have been some of the healing cases that you've seen aside from what you've shared already? And how does it work?
Like, say, I'll give one of the example. Last month we had one of the very famous here in Indore. He has got four big hospitals. One or two of them are five-star category hospitals. He came with the cervical problem, having the belt in his neck and all that. So on the fifth day his belt was over and he started working very nicely, and he is already having a big team of doctors. So you these doctors, they know from inside that many of the diseases, they do not have proper treatment in modern medical science. So they come to the yoga therapy,
Hmm.
like migraine, headache, that thyroid's problem, blood pressure problem, back pain, then joints pain, arthritis, stress, tension, depression, anxiety, fear, anger. These are the problems of human life. Sometimes some of them are more dangerous than cancer.
Hmm.
Modern medical science has no treatment. There are about 100 diseases which are very, very problematic in the world. Modern medical science has no proper systematic treatment. But yoga therapy, on the other hand, got some of these very nice, very good result oriented result for yoga through yoga therapy. So one can really take up, uh, but it must be systematic, guided by a proper person, not by just ordinary yoga teacher. Sometimes yoga teachers may help, but they may not be knowing a systematic way of yoga therapy. So to become a yoga therapist, there are very good courses also run by our institute, and one can take advantage of that to help others. First, you help yourself, then you help others.
Yep. Yeah, that's the truth. I know that one very well. And you got to do it. You have to put your own safety vest on first before you can help
Yes,
save anyone
very good.
else. I love that. And I think I think a lot of people are looking for help these days, especially after coronavirus and
Correct,
mental health. Mental health is a big deal right now. And
correct.
that being able to heal inside and out, the physical symptoms as well as the mental symptoms, because I know when I came to the ashram, I was a lot more emotionally volatile than I am now. It
Yes,
was a
yes,
very
yes.
interesting
I
time.
remember.
What do you mean you remember? What did I do?
You did so many things.
I did so many things. Oh no. I didn't know you knew about those. and and
All
it
right.
was
It was very nice talking to you today. Maybe we'll set up one other day time.
I would love to. I'd love to. I'm sure you're very busy and you got a class to teach and we're in your ashram hall right now. Let's absolutely do another time and book you to come to the when you come to America, come to Canada. We'll host you. I'd love to see you. Thank you
I'll
so much,
make the
Guru.
program. Sure, sure. Thank you very much. All
For
the best.
everyone
And
listening, please, I'll put the show notes. Please visit Guruji's ashram. Please check out his online programs. You need to learn from this legend. He's an amazing human. He changed my life. And for everyone, this is a special chance to tap into something real. So please follow along and we'll have Guruji on again. Thank you, everyone.
my pleasure. I'm very happy to see you happy. All the best, all the blessings.
So good to
Hari
see you.
Om. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Ink Pray Love podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Baya, and if you'd like to do some charity work, go to www.aaronbaya.com/charity. Support one of the causes on that page, whichever resonates for you. Do some good today.